Hello, I'm on another Brontë adventure and the sun is out, the sky is blue, so let's go and find out what this place has to do with the Brontës. Hello, if you haven't already guessed, I'm here at Bolton Abbey, just outside Skipton. So I'm here for the day. I'm going to take you round, have a look. So let's go and see. So in September 1833, the Brontë siblings, Branwell, Charlotte, Emily and Anne, came here with their friend Ellen Nussey, who'd been staying with them at the Haworth for the last 2 weeks. They pulled all their pocket money together and decided to come here, hire a carriage and come here for the day. Branwell managed to arrange a carriage and they set off between 5 and 6 in the morning to get here for the daytime. On the way here, they stopped at the Devonshire Arms, which is just down the road, to meet Ellen's family to have breakfast. But for the poor Brontës, I think they felt a little bit embarrassed because the Devonshire Arms was very fashionable. It hosted the royal family while they were grouse shooting in the past, and it was the place to stop. And so the people that were there were quite grand, you could say. And in my research there, I found a section that said that they were a shabby looking conveyance. So I can imagine that was quite humiliating, especially for Charlotte, who was very conscious of fashion. Ellen's family, on the other hand, was classed as a handsome carriage and pair, referring to the horses that they came with and obviously the carriage. And obviously Ellen was a little bit more used to that sort of environment. But they came nevertheless, and they came here to the Abbey with Branwell doing a running commentary of poetry from Wordsworth, explaining about the hills and the river, and he seemed to have read so much that he knew everything about this place, even though he'd never been here before. Now obviously it's still very popular as a tourist attraction like it was back then. I mean, it was very fashionable in Victorian times to come, but obviously there wasn't the signs and the ice cream van like there is nowadays. So I thought I would take you and show you a bit of the Abbey, show you a bit of where they would have come for the day, what they would have seen. There's also a church on the back of the Abbey still attached, and apparently there's going to be a wedding there today. So typical me, I turn up when there's a wedding going on. It's always the case. Maybe it's me. This is starting to become a habit for me to arrive as the organist is practicing for a wedding. feels strange though, walking down the aisle to the wedding march in jeans. Either side of the tower are 2 stone dogs. Legend has it that Prior Moon was diddled or robbed over the sale of some cows by a local family called Hay, and the dog, for which there are 2, one sits on either side of the tower that Priory Moon was having built, are indeed laughing. Could it be that this is where the nursery rhyme, Hey Diddle Diddle, came from? Ellen Nussey, talking about Branwell on their trip to Bolton Abbey, said, "He had any amount of poetry ready for quotation, and this day he was well off in an appreciative audience whenever he chose to recite. It was one of the things he did well." Branwell seemed to know every inch of the way, could tell the names of the hills that would be driven over or walk over, their exact height above the sea, the view to be seen, and the places to be passed through. Many artists and poets have been inspired by Bolton Abbey over the years. Turner had completed this piece only a few years prior to the Brontes' visit. And the poet Wordsworth, a Bronte family favourite, wrote The White Doe of Rylstone in the early 19th century, which starts outside Bolton Abbey, where he saw a white doe enter the churchyard and lie down by one particular grave, where the parishioners say it had been a regular visitor. So a brief history of the Abbey goes something like this. This is the remains of Bolton Priory. It was founded in 1155 by a community of Augustinian canons. In the early 14th century, the priory fell on hard times but recovered, and in the late 14th century, a programme of rebuilding the church and some domestic buildings took place. The canons lived and worshipped here until 1539, when the dissolution of the monastery stripped the priory of its assets. Prior Moon, who I've mentioned before, negotiated with Cromwell to secure the nave as a place of worship for the local community, and the church continues to thrive to this day. Bolton Abbey is known for its 62 stepping stones over the river. Originally, they were the crossing point for the lay workers at the Priory, but a footbridge has since been built for those who do not want to risk getting their feet wet when they misjudge the stones, like I nearly did. The running water somehow disorientates you, and I seem to be unable to do the simple task of putting one foot in front of the other. I wonder if the Brontes and Ellen walked over the stones when they were here. On the other side of the river, along the path, we came across this fallen tree with hundreds of coins in it. We tried to find the oldest coin to see how long this money tree had been decorated, but it was an endless task. Bolton Abbey is part of a large estate, and the estate has 11 dairy farms, so it's no surprise when you see the cows taking a paddle in the river to cool off. Time for a brew and a cake, I think. You know me, love a cup of Yorkshire tea. Today's choice of cake was a fruit scone with jam, but I decided to be healthy and not have the cream. Yarn bombing is a big thing in Yorkshire. This one was to commemorate the 80th year since World War II, and it sits just by the local post office for everyone to see. So very Yorkshire. Oh no, another bookshop. And I felt it was rude not to pop in and have a little look around. It is such a sweet little shop, but it was absolutely packed with books covering every topic you could think of. Plus there were some very old and rare books. And as always, I went to find the Brontës. Only a few this time, but it was good to see them on the shelf. Look at all these penguin classics. Oh, they just look so pretty. And I can confirm, yes, the shop did smell amazing. I hope you enjoyed looking around Bolton Abbey as much as I did. It's just great to explore all these places, and we have so many here in Yorkshire. I'm so lucky. When I was walking around, I couldn't help but wonder, you know, did Branwell stand on this very wall and recite poetry to the women? Or, you know, did Emily sit over in the corner and whisper with Anne out of everyone's way? I don't know, but it's just nice to imagine it if, you know, if nothing else. So thank you for coming today. If you enjoyed this video or any of my videos, do the whole likey, subscribey thing, because it really does help me out and it lets YouTube know that we want to watch more Bronte content. But also, it's great for your feedback. I love hearing your thoughts, and you know, if you've been here before, let me know. Tell me what you think of it. Tell me what you experienced whilst here. Anyway, I'll see you next week for more Bronte adventures. See you soon. Bye.